There are moments when a policy change quietly slips into the background of daily life, barely noticed until its effects begin to ripple through industries, businesses, and even personal financial decisions. And then there are moments when a single announcement catches the attention of investors, collectors, and everyday people who simply want to understand how shifting regulations might affect their future. Right now, conversations across financial communities are turning toward a development that many are watching closely. According to available information, a new silver reporting law is scheduled to begin in mid-February, and it is already sparking discussion, curiosity, and cautious anticipation. Silver has always held a fascinating place in the global economy. It sits at the crossroads between an industrial resource and a store of value. It is found in electronics, medical tools, renewable energy technologies, and historic coin collections. For centuries, silver has represented both innovation and preservation. When laws begin to shape how silver is reported, tracked, or regulated, it naturally raises questions that stretch far beyond investors or traders. It touches supply chains, manufacturing, environmental efforts, and even the psychology of financial security. As the start date approaches, many people are asking a simple but powerful question. What exactly does this new reporting requirement mean, and why is it happening now? Across different regions of the world, governments periodically adjust reporting rules surrounding valuable commodities. These changes often emerge from a combination of economic transparency goals, anti-fraud measures, and efforts to better understand the movement of high-value materials across markets. Some reports suggest that recent shifts in global trade patterns and rising interest in precious metals may have played a role in motivating lawmakers to revisit how silver transactions are documented and monitored. Historically, precious metals have carried a dual identity. They are both practical resources used in technology and symbolic assets that people turn to during uncertain economic times. When uncertainty increases in broader financial systems, interest in tangible assets often grows. That increased interest can lead to higher trading activity, greater storage movement, and more complex supply chains. According to available information, regulatory bodies often respond to these shifts by introducing updated reporting structures designed to improve transparency and ensure compliance with financial oversight standards. For individuals who collect silver coins, bars, or jewelry, the announcement has sparked curiosity rather than panic. Many collectors view regulatory changes as part of the natural evolution of financial markets. Still, there is a growing awareness that even subtle adjustments in reporting requirements can influence buying behavior, selling strategies, and long-term investment planning. Businesses that work directly with silver are watching even more closely. Manufacturers rely heavily on silver for its conductivity, durability, and unique chemical properties. Companies that produce solar panels, medical devices, and specialized electronics often depend on consistent access to silver supplies. If reporting requirements influence how silver is transported, sold, or documented, it could potentially reshape how companies manage their procurement processes. There is also an international dimension to consider. Silver does not move only within national borders. It flows across continents through trade agreements, industrial partnerships, and investment channels. When one region introduces new reporting standards, it can sometimes create ripple effects that influence global trade practices. Some analysts suggest that changes like these can encourage greater accountability across supply chains, while others believe they may introduce short-term adjustments as industries adapt. One of the most intriguing aspects of this development is the timing. The global economy has experienced significant transformation in recent years. Supply chain disruptions, technological advancements, and shifting investment trends have all contributed to a rapidly evolving financial environment. Within that environment, commodities like silver have gained renewed attention. Renewable energy initiatives, in particular, have increased demand for silver due to its role in solar technology and energy storage systems. As demand grows, governments and regulatory agencies often face increased pressure to maintain transparency and prevent illicit activity. Reporting laws can serve as tools to track large transactions, monitor market stability, and ensure that trade flows remain legitimate. According to available information, similar measures in other commodity sectors have been introduced in the past, with the goal of strengthening oversight while allowing markets to function efficiently. However, regulatory changes rarely arrive without debate. Public speculation surrounding the new law reflects a wide range of perspectives. Some observers believe increased reporting could foster trust and stability in the silver market. They argue that clear documentation and consistent oversight may reduce fraudulent practices and provide a more reliable framework for businesses and investors alike. Others have expressed cautious concern. They wonder whether additional reporting layers could introduce administrative complexity for smaller businesses or independent traders. Historically, whenever compliance requirements expand, there's often a period of adjustment as industries learn to navigate new procedures. These concerns are not necessarily predictions of negative outcomes, but rather reflections of how market participants often react to regulatory change. Right around the midpoint of this conversation, there is something that deserves closer attention. While much of the focus has been placed on what the law might require, the deeper story may revolve around how it could reshape perception. Regulations do not only influence behavior, they shape confidence. They influence how people view the reliability of markets, the accessibility of resources, and the stability of long-term investments. This law could become more than a reporting requirement. It could become a symbol of how modern economies are adapting to the growing importance of precious metals in a technology-driven world. Another factor quietly influencing the conversation is data. In today's digital economy, information has become one of the most valuable assets of all. Reporting laws often serve as gateways to more comprehensive data collection. That data can help policymakers understand trends, anticipate shortages, and plan for future economic challenges. For industries that rely heavily on silver, better data could lead to more accurate forecasting and improved resource management. Environmental considerations may also play a subtle role in shaping these policies. Silver mining and production involve complex processes that can impact ecosystems and local communities. Some reports suggest that improved tracking and reporting could support sustainability initiatives by providing clearer visibility into sourcing practices. While the new law is primarily focused on reporting, it may indirectly contribute to broader environmental transparency goals. For everyday individuals who hold silver as a form of financial security, the emotional dimension cannot be ignored. Precious metals often carry a sense of stability and tradition. People pass silver coins through generations. They purchase silver during times of economic uncertainty as a way to preserve value outside traditional financial systems. When new regulations appear, they can stir feelings ranging from curiosity to caution. Yet history shows that markets and collectors often adapt, finding ways to operate within updated frameworks while continuing long-standing traditions. Another layer of this unfolding story involves education. Whenever new regulations emerge, knowledge becomes a powerful tool. Financial advisors, industry professionals, and trade organizations often step forward to help individuals and businesses understand how changes might apply to them. Clear communication can reduce confusion and empower people to make informed decisions. According to available information, early awareness tends to ease transitions when new reporting standards take effect. There's also the psychological element of anticipation. The period leading up to a regulatory launch often generates speculation. Markets sometimes react not only to the rules themselves, but to expectations surrounding those rules. Investors may adjust strategies based on perceived impacts. Businesses may review supply contracts or inventory planning. Even collectors might reconsider buying or selling timelines as they seek clarity. What makes this moment especially fascinating is how it reflects a broader trend toward transparency in global commerce. Across multiple industries, governments and organizations are placing greater emphasis on traceability, accountability, and standardized reporting. Silver, with its unique position between industry and investment, sits directly within that trend. As February approaches, conversations will likely intensify. Analysts will study early outcomes. Industry leaders may share insights about how the law is influencing operations. Collectors and investors will watch closely to see whether market dynamics shift in noticeable ways. And throughout this process, one theme will remain constant. Change, while sometimes uncertain, often drives innovation and adaptation. Near the closing of this discussion, it is worth pausing to reflect on the broader meaning behind developments like this. Laws and regulations are not just technical adjustments buried in legal language. They are reflections of how societies attempt to balance growth, security, and fairness. The new silver reporting law represents a moment where economics, technology, and governance intersect. It reminds us that even materials that have existed for thousands of years continue to evolve within modern financial landscapes. For some, this law may become a footnote in the ongoing history of commodity regulation. For others, it may mark the beginning of new approaches to transparency and resource management. Regardless of individual perspectives, the conversation surrounding silver highlights a universal truth about markets and societies. They are constantly moving, constantly adapting, and constantly responding to the needs and challenges of their time. As the launch date arrives, the most valuable approach may simply be awareness. Staying informed allows individuals, businesses, and collectors to navigate change with confidence rather than uncertainty. Understanding the motivations behind regulatory adjustments can transform concern into perspective and speculation into thoughtful analysis. If this topic sparked your curiosity or helped you see the silver market from a new angle, consider showing your support by liking this video. If you enjoy deep dives into financial developments, economic trends, and the stories shaping global markets, subscribing helps you stay connected to future discussions. And most importantly, share your thoughts in the comments. Are you watching this new law closely, or do you see it as just another step in the evolution of commodity regulation? Your perspective adds to the conversation, and it is always fascinating to hear how different viewers interpret moments like this.